welcome to my channel, Chatting with Chops. I've had a request from a family member that would like some cheese straws. So we're gonna try and see if we can make cheese straws. There's a million different recipes out there, and my hubby likes them a little spicy, so we're gonna add a little bit of spice to them. So let's get started. So I'm just using regular blocks of sharp cheddar cheese. These are little 8-ounce blocks. And then I have my trusty little shredder, hand shredder that I'm using. You can use whatever you have. And I'm just using kind of like what I call the medium shred size. It's actually making them look like that. And I'm just shredding out my cheese. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our half, again, as we said a minute ago, we're going to put half of our cheese into our bowl. Okay. And we are in the midst of preheating our oven at 325 degrees. So we're going to put half of our cheese in. Because we're halving this recipe, we're not using 2 sticks of butter, we're only using 1 stick of butter. And because I'm halving this, gosh, if you guys get this recipe right on this one, it'll be a miracle, because I don't know that I'm going to get it right. I'm going to put half the butter in, so I put half of the cheese in to give it a chance to, my mixer not to have to work so hard. Goodness gracious. I say I'm the messy cook. I think I need to be called the confused cook. All right, let's try this again. Earlier, it's supposed to take, the recipe said it can take anywhere between 15 and 30 minutes, turn into kind of a whipped cream consistency. So we want to be able to give it all that time. And my lightly floured cheese from earlier, we'll put that in there too. And then we're just going to let this mixer just do its thing. All right, so we've mixed it for about 18 minutes. And we have a beautiful whipped cream consistency to me. Ooh, let me back up a little bit here so y'all can see everything. We'll see if I can get some of this off of the beater a little bit. And then I just want to mix what's around the edges. All right, so we're supposed to take a large bowl. All right, and since we're splitting this recipe in half, we're going to take 1 cup of our all-purpose flour, put that in a bowl. Okay, and we're going to take our 1 teaspoon of salt, put that in there. And then we're going to take our 1/8 of a teaspoon of black pepper. Make sure we get all of that. Okay, and we're going to take 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Ooh, I can smell that. And then we're going to take just a little dash of some garlic powder. Put that in there. We're going to stir that up. Don't want that to be all in one bite. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to start adding this to our whipped cream cheese mixture. Now we're going to start off with the 1 cup of seasoned flour, and we may need a little bit more flour to just kind of get it to the consistency. We need to be able to still be able to get it through our cookie press, so we don't want it to be like water coming through there, but it still needs to be able to press through. So we can't have it be too terribly firm. So we're just gonna have to kind of play with it a little bit. Okay? So let's see what we end up with. I definitely want to add at least this 1st cup of flour though, because this has all our wonderful seasoning in it that we want to get into our cheese straws. All right, let's check this out and see what kind of consistency we have. Well, that has firmed up a good bit. I don't know, that looks like a really good kind of pressed cookie consistency there. I'm just not quite sure that we need any more flour. Let's see if I can get some of this off. I don't want to drop it on my counter. Yeah, see, that just looks like a really good consistency already. All right, I think we're gonna make an executive decision and just hold off putting any more flour in and seeing if this works for what we need. All right, so I wanna show you first. So we're gonna use the little star insert for our cookie press. These cookie presses are kind of vintage, but you can, for the most part, you can find them anywhere on eBay, or I think you can find them on Etsy. I mean, I have found these at yard sales and estate sales, and I mean, they're just really, really abundant. So, but again, you could use just a regular piping bag, but I'm gonna try using my cookie press and see how well I do. So I'm just gonna drop some of this down in here. I'm not gonna put too much because I wanna see if it's even gonna work. Again, never done this recipe before. And I think I'm ending up wearing more of this cheese straw mixture than I'm gonna end up making. Again, we have the oven is preheating at 325 degrees. And what the recipe is telling you to do is we basically are supposed to press out a long tube along our cookie sheet and then cut it off at the end. Okay, so I'm gonna switch angles in here real quick. Got you far enough back to be able to see what I'm doing. So normally with a cookie press, I'm usually pressing down, but with this one, I'm gonna do it crossways. I'm trying to see if I can get a good angle for you guys so you can see what I'm doing. Excuse the messy kitchen in the background. See, I'm just gonna slide that across. And then when I get to the end, I'm just gonna use my knife and cut that, okay? And just keep going across my cookie sheets with as many of them as I can fit. There we go. Whoop. That one broke. It's okay though. I mean, I won't have to cut it when I get done. Right. I'm just gonna keep doing this with my cookie dough, or I'm sorry, my cheese straw dough. And then I'm gonna put it in the oven at 325 degrees. And I'm gonna cook them for about 20 minutes until they're nice and brown and crispy. And I'll bring y'all back and let you see what they look like. Look how great they turned out. They look really, really good. I'm gonna bring them a little bit closer for you to see, but they're nice and firm. And so while they're still warm, I'm gonna try and see if now is when I really should start kind of breaking them up. The recipe says just use a sharp implement to break them. So I'm gonna see. I don't want to use anything too sharp because I don't want to cut my slip mats, but oh, look at that. That is fantastic. They're still really, really hot though. I just came out of the oven. Oh, that is perfect. Oh, I hope they taste as good as they look. Ooh, that made quite a few of them too, didn't it? All right, let me see if I can pick one up and see if it's too hot. Well, that's not bad. All right, so there you go. Please like and subscribe, and I'll keep making awesome bakes for you. Hope y'all have a great day. I thought I'd show y'all real quick. The recipe was for a total of 4 dozen. I cut the recipe in half, and it said to cut them in about 3-inch strips. Now, I used the star tube attachment that they said to use. So I don't know, maybe it just made a whole lot more than the recipe said. I think so. So just keep that in mind when you make this recipe. You're gonna get a lot. And you see some of mine are a little bit longer than they should be. So it did make a lot of them.